for my days. Hello. Hi. A lot has happened. So much. I have to just go straight into it because you can tell that this is a long video. Blah, blah, blah. Why did I leave? Short, sweet, and simple. Got home to. I was fueled by revenge success. A lot of healing. Had to do pruning. We had to do a lot of pruning. Hiya. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome me back to my channel. A lot has changed. Elephant in the room. Well, there's multiple elephants in the room. Like, how many elephants can we fit in the room? But obviously, as you can see, postpartum has done a heck of a number on me. But that's a video for another day. We're not Lovers in the Hair No Lie anymore. I thought I would be back with the same name, but we've done a rebrand. This is Sharice Leanne, my first and my middle name. Having Lovers in the Hair No Lie. I saw big things for it. Let's just be honest. The space in the natural hair industry that I was creating, I envisioned it being way beyond me, larger than life, a legacy I was leaving behind that others would be able to step into and carry the mantle on, which is why I shied away from using my name in the beginning. Not that the dream has died or ended, but I've just pivoted. We're going in a different direction to create a little bit more personability. To be a bit more personable. I have notes on the iPad, so if you see me looking down or looking around, that's where I'm trying to keep this succinct. It has been a very long time, so I'm not going to pretend like I know how to talk without a script. I know you've seen that I've posted 2 other videos on my channel this year. I really wanted to test myself. I wanted to know that I was ready. I really wanted confirmation from God that now was the time. This was my comeback season. I don't know if you know before, but I did come back, not on YouTube, but I came back to, I don't know if you remember IGTV, Instagram TV. I came back in 2019, but I can go more into that later. Yeah, so I've done this whole, I'm ready to come back before, and then I guess if now wasn't the time, then I would have aborted mission. That's where I'm at in life. If it's a no, there's no peace about it. If God has not said yes, it's not happening. I'm not even gonna try. I wanted to post this video because the last video I posted before those 2 videos was why I left YouTube. It wasn't just a sudden abandonment, I hope. I know it probably still felt like that. Sorry. I did try my best to share everything I knew at the time. I know I didn't have all the answers, but I did share what I did know. But as the title says, hindsight is 2020. So I have got a lot to colour in for you. I'm a lot more mature, I'm wiser, and I'm older, all of that. So outside of YouTube, I've actually had to explain this story quite a few times because there are quite a few people in my personal life that care to know, like, oh, why have you left? Why'd you give it all up, kind of thing. Every single time I do get very clammy. I know this is going to be the rawest that I say it because, I have time and because it's full circle. And just to be clear, it's probably going to be one of the very few talking head videos, or like full discourse, deep stuff that I put on this channel. I have decided to create a separate channel dedicated to all the sit down talking, nitty gritty life stuff, and that's all gonna be on Sharice's digital diary. I'll leave the link in the description. I want to keep this channel here, we do hair here. In the video, I think I even said that I was gonna come back. I think I should have watched the video before I made this video, but I was like, I've watched almost all of the videos over the years, multiple times. I have so much love for that girl. I have so much love for that version of me. I just wish I could just give her a big hug. More on that later. So I always knew I would come back. Felt like maybe that was why it was so easy to leave, because I knew it wasn't a final forever. It's in my bones, it's in my blood, innit? Like, I'm a creator, I'm a creative. Even though I have really enjoyed the peace. I've really enjoyed the pressurelessness. That's probably not a word, but no pressure. I've enjoyed the peace and quiet. I've enjoyed life in the slow lane where nobody's really checking for you, where nobody's really looking at you like you know anything. Not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's as close to invisible as it gets because I don't have that superpower. That's always been one of my things of wanting to really be invisible. That came from feeling so super unknown, misunderstood. So I just went to the extreme and be like, well, do you know what? If I'm going to be super misunderstood indefinitely, then I might as well be invisible. I don't want nobody to know me. I've just been consuming. I've been scrolling on my phone, scrolling on social media. looking at all the new socials that have come through, seeing how all these social media platforms are now being monetized, and like people are in their bag and watching and just taking it all in and not having to worry in my head about creating, more in my head about scripting, more in my head about lighting, more in my head about what's my next video gonna be and all of that. Oh, I've loved it, but there's always a but. If I'm super honest, it's definitely made me a bit bland. I am a bit vanilla now. It's been what, 8 years? Oh my days, saying that out loud. Saying it out loud because I got it on my notes, but it's different saying it out loud. Right, 8 years. Eight. Eight? Incredible. Thank you, God, for life, you know? Because a lot of people have not made it. Anyways, so over the past 8 years, I've encountered quite a few, many people. Some have stayed in my life, some have gone. That's life. But what I'm saying is, they've not got to see that version of me that you know. Hopefully, now that I'm back, I get to resuscitate some aspects, some parts of the former me, and pair that with the wisdom and the maturity that life has afforded me. I'm just really excited. This is basically what I'm trying to say. And I feel like you can get that through this video. So yeah, why did I leave? Why I left? Why did I leave? Short, sweet and simple. God told me to. I don't think I ever mentioned this in the last video. Anyways, God told me to, and for a number of reasons, which he revealed to me after. And if you know God, if you have a relationship with God, you know God. He will wait for you, he's a gentleman. He'll wait for you to step out in faith, and then he will reveal small here and there along the process, along the journey. It will all start to make sense, basically. That's the same for me. That's true for me too. That's what happened. Gave me a lot of clarity, a lot of peace, a lot of healing. Had to do pruning. We had to do a lot of pruning. Cleansing, a lot of growth had to happen, and isn't that wonderful that all of that's taken place for me to be able to be back? Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. YouTube and the natural hair business, the modeling, the speaking engagements, the business that I created around my YouTube channel. It was the one thing in my life that I didn't involve God in. I really was like, I'm good in this sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm in my bag, I'm in my lane. I don't really see the need, like, especially back then, I hadn't had my life fully surrendered to God. So it was easy for me to compartmentalize everything in terms of my faith and my spiritual life. Whereas obviously now everything is like, there is no separation. If you know, you know. It's what. Yeah, I had no desire to involve him either. I'm good, like I've got this. I had my vision, I had my plans. I was day in and day out working hard, solid on it. So it didn't really feel like it was something that I needed God for. As I said, back then, that's my mindset wasn't like now. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't mature enough to know that you don't need God when you need God. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't only need God when you need help, or he's not a genie. Like, you don't, yeah, all of that. I was not gonna release control, and that's not a very good recipe for a relationship with your creator, your Lord and Savior, and soon coming King. I say that a lot now. I'm actually an auntie. I really mean it. I really mean it from the depth of my heart. So I started the channel with pure intentions. I don't want to come across as though it was all fake or I was deceiving or none of that. Like, it wasn't that. And I'd only been active for 3 years. That even sounds wild saying it, because the way that my mind was at the time, by the time I left, my intentions were no longer pure. Like, when I say pure intentions, I mean, like, I really wanted natural hair to be natural for every black woman. That it's just a natural thing that we do. It's normalized. That's the word that we started using in between the time that I've started my channel and now. Like, I want it to be normalized. A standard of beauty, maybe not for the whole world, but for black women, it's our standard of beauty. We are slowly getting there, which is wonderful. And I wanted to be part of that movement. I wanted to be part of that process. I wanted to be an advocate. I was super passionate about growing long hair. I wasn't falling for the propaganda that black women can't have long hair, thriving, healthy hair. I grew my hair to mid-back length, almost waist length, almost twice over in that time. I know right now, don't look at my hair. It's not that now. I know you see the previous videos. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. But basically, as I said, the end of the 3 short years, the intentions were no longer pure. I was fueled by revenge success. I didn't see it at the time. I really didn't see it at the time, but I was very paranoid. I was cynical. I was a terrible friend. And I just saw the worst in people. I thought the worst of people. Yeah, I was just desperate, desperate, desperate for those same people to support me, to love on me, to help me in my goals and my pursuit of my dreams and my pursuit of doing these big things. And I was fully Miss Independent, and that's something that God really pulled me up on because that wasn't in alignment with what He wanted for me. I'm not saying Miss Independent is not, it's not for someone. I'm just saying it weren't for me. Okay. Yeah, I was just like, I don't need a man. I don't need friends. I don't have time for any of that. Didn't have time for any of that. Like, I'm in my bag. I got to focus. I don't need to invest in anyone or anything other than my baby, my business, my natural hair business. It's not going to last unless I put everything I need to put in right now. Obviously, yeah, logically, yes, when you have a business, you do need to put your time and effort and energy into it so it can be established and then flourish. But it was a bit too much. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a limit. Every little piece of my energy and my headspace went into my YouTube channel and my natural hair, growing my own natural hair and natural hair, like the topic itself, the subject itself, and just my influencer career and wherever it was going to take me, because I really believed, as I said in the beginning, that this was going to take me far, far, and I just needed to stick it out. I just needed to stick it out because of the haters that I wanted to clap back at, with my success. All of the negativity that just had consumed me, the paranoia, the anxiety, the revenge that I wanted. Yeah, I felt all those feelings because I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel affirmed. I didn't feel relevant. I didn't feel seen. And I didn't feel understood. Like I said in the beginning, I felt very misunderstood. You're not supposed to feel that. You're not, I don't recommend it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I felt really like I was swimming against the tide, going against the grain. The grade. What? All of the phrases. I was doing it. I felt so alone. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster because you either victimize yourself and feel like, oh, woe is me. What's the point? Because I'm no one. I'm nobody. Or you go the extreme and you just start to feel like you're Napoleon and like like war on everyone kind of thing. Like everybody watch your back, hide your wife, hide the kids, because I'm coming for you. Like, if you're gonna hate me, I'm gonna hate you first. Ridiculous, but like, yeah, I was convinced, super convinced, that everyone in my personal life just wanted me to fail. I was convinced that everyone was jealous. Jealous. Listen to me. They were haters. They were jealous haters. I needed to get away. I needed to get away from it. And the only way I was going to get away from it is through my success, through getting my money up, through the opportunities that I was getting. And I was getting them. Like, I was going to get there if I kept going. But it was obviously a recipe for disaster because, as I said, my heart posture was just not right. And if you know the God that we serve, He's all about heart posture. It's all about what's inside. Because man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. Yeah, there was definitely a few haters in my life. Like, it wasn't everyone though. I thought everyone was out to get me. It was only a few people. There were a few toxics, like, but it wasn't everyone. There was something that Shirley Anyan said in one of her videos one day, and I clung onto it. She said it was her friends and her family. I mean, it was her family that had helped her get where she was. If it wasn't for their support, basically, is what she said. If it wasn't for their support, she wouldn't be as successful as she was. And as I said, I clung onto it. That I was like, yes, it's because I'm not supported. It's because they don't see me. It's because they find it so difficult to support me that I'm not succeeding. And at the time, I felt like things were really not as they could have been. You have to understand, like, okay, now is a different landscape. But back then, in the UK especially, natural hair influencers is what we used to call them. It's what we used to be called. Because I'm saying them like I wasn't part of it. There was only a handful of us out of the very few. Almost everyone had big followings. And then I compare myself, of course. Not many people are doing it. It's not like now where, as I said, almost every social media platform is monetized and there's creators everywhere, which is good, but I was very stressed about the fact that I wasn't cutting through that ceiling simply because of family and friends. Obviously, I did see that I had to be better, but I just felt like, well, if I'm putting in the work to be better, to improve that 1% every day, every upload, every bit of content that I put out there, I'm putting in my blood, sweat, and tears. Especially because of, you know, how the algorithms was back then. It was people that know you personally is where your content get pushed first. There was no way it was getting to the explore page. There was no way it's getting to your actual audience, basically, if first the people that follow you, which is usually your friends and family, if they don't like or engage with your content. And so I was just so enraged by what she said, because I was like, I don't have that support. I'm not getting the likes. I'm not getting the engagement from my friends and my family. But I'm going to prove everyone wrong because they're obviously haters. Obviously. I'm not buying it that they just don't know, or it's just because they're not into it. Because if you know how things work, because it was said back then just as much as it's said now these days, then why are you not doing it? What's the point of you following? Why are you even following me then? Because if you know that you're hindering me, I don't know. And anyways, I don't want it to come across like I'm still hurt. I want you to still feel the same emotion that I carried before, to illustrate what I'm saying. But please just put in your mind that I don't think this way now. In my describing, I'm adding color. You know, you gotta add color, you gotta add the emotion, you gotta make it engaging, make it concrete for you. I was trying to give grace because I did know, okay, this is still quite new to everyone, that social media is a career. Obviously, back then, it wasn't a real job. If you think people don't rate it now, it was definitely not rated before. But then that even made me even more like, that's icky that you think that way of me. Do you know what I mean? That's icky that you really think, I don't need to like it right now. It's gonna be there in like 2 weeks' time. I get to it when I can get to it. It's not that deep. It's just a little bit of fun. Like, it's not that serious. It's not like you're trying to feed yourself and make a career out of it and make a living. You can't be earning much from this, can you? You can't be. It's just a hobby. It just, ugh. I didn't want to know what was going through their head to justify why they didn't want to support. Why it just took so much energy to like it. So much energy to watch another video. It's just like, if that's the energy, I would obviously hype it up in my head. As I said, that's what paranoia is. Like, you really blow things way out of proportion. Even if it was true just a little bit, that was icky to me. And I just was very cutthroat. I was like, I'm going to prove all these people wrong. I'm going to find my audience, come what may. You guys, are you for me or are you against me? Because either way, I'm going to be successful. You're not going to stop me. But I still kind of slightly feel like they are stopping me. Until now, like, you know, the algorithms will change. So now, if I don't actually become successful, it's all on me. That's a whole almost half hour talking about all of that stuff why I left. As I said, that there was quite a few things that I had to experience and that I had to learn through leaving. I had to learn social media hygiene. That was number one, because there wasn't a distinction between what was private, what was public, what was for me, what was for my audience, what was for my personal people in my life that know me personally. Boundaries. I had to put boundaries in place. I had to learn the actual business and the back end and behind the scenes stuff of being an influencer, having a YouTube career and all of that, in order for me to take myself seriously and for others to take me seriously. Oh yeah, so much happened. Oh my gosh, so much just happened. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, it's just hitting me. We're wrapping this all up because this is here just for show now. As you can tell, the sound quality has definitely changed. Battery died. It was charging, so I don't understand why it died, but anyways. The growing pains of going back on YouTube. And my time is very limited when it comes to these recordings. But as I was saying, I had to understand that no man is an island, even though that used to really grind my gears. I had to understand that no one is self-made, and as much as, okay, people don't support me or whatever, I go out and go find the people that will. Yes, okay, blood relations and family is, you're born into it, you're given who you're given, But we are in a day and age where we can really create the community that we want. You know, the kind of community that you need. You can be the villager in a village that is a real village. I'm really learning my motherhood journey. I'm learning in marriage that in order to fortify these constructs, you know what I mean, we have to invest where we want to see the fruit. We have to sow where we want to see the fruit, where we want to see the harvest. So yeah, the biggest thing I learned was that God has to be my business partner. He has to be in control of all of things in my life, not just my spiritual life, not just my love life. You know, like I had to pray for good friends, pray to be a good friend myself, to pray for that capacity, pray for the scales to be removed from my eyes to see the people that were actually toxic instead of branding everybody with the same brush, and get rid, purge myself of the bad company to then go seek out people that I can be in community with, be in relationship with, that are for me, do love me for who I am, for not just for what I can bring, or not just for the idea of me or whatever, and I can be that for them. And it's good days. And as I said, God is my business partner. Now in business, I'm very partnered up with him. Everything that I've put my hand to so far, I've definitely seen how it's been aligned with God and his thoughts towards me, his dreams for me, his plans for me. So I'm happy, I'm content in that. And which is why I said in the beginning, like, if this wasn't what God wanted, if this wasn't in alignment with the timing of my comeback season, I would have aborted the mission, you know? That's how I operate. I really want to let you know what happened after. Like, I left in the last video, I was like, I need to get my money up, and things were really tight, and I was trying to fake it till I make it. The faking it was was so prolonged that things just weren't okay. But I think maybe I should just do a separate video. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Put the next video on this channel, and then all videos after that I'll put on Teresa's digital diary. Just a little teaser of what I'm going to be talking about, because I really want to share it now, but I know I don't have time to get into all of it. But so yeah, so I was waitressing at the time. That was my stable income that was funding my YouTube career, and I was really good at hospitality. But again, it was yet another industry that just was not respected, that is not respected. I had a lot of shame around that I was good at something that just was not rated. With YouTube, again, I was good at something that was just not rated. And as a black disabled woman, there's no point in my eyes at the time. There was no point investing in industries, in spaces, trying to be part of places that are not respected, are not rated, and believing in success, believing in better and bigger for myself. It just was not a recipe for success that I could see. Seemingly, obviously not really so, but it seemed as though the natural hair movement died, the way as we knew it back then anyways, which was really like, whoa, I wasn't expecting it, number one. Two, I felt it gave me more peace. Not that it died, not that the movement died, but just the fact that had I continued to hold on to the channel and the business and the full steam ahead that I was doing, it would have halted, you know, with or without me deciding to step out in faith. And I feel if it did have halted and I didn't choose God, I didn't choose the healing, I didn't choose the growth, I didn't choose to pause basically for my mental health, I don't know what would have happened to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that would have broken me. I don't know how things would have, the breakdown, the fallout, all of that would have been had I not paused when I did, and, you know, not have all the answers, not have everything figured out, but just knowing in my heart of hearts, just knowing that my time had come to a pause, break. I was gonna say to come to an end because I'm back, so it doesn't make sense, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, and then that's from then I went to solitude and isolation. As you know, back then I was single, I was living at home with my parents and stuff. As I said, I wasn't a good friend, so I didn't really have very good deep friendships. I had to start from scratch basically in that area too. I moved to New York for a bit. I didn't move to New York for a bit. I tried to move to New York for a bit. At the time, obviously, New York was the mecca for natural hair. Like, that was the place where you needed to be if you were serious about the movement and rubbing shoulders with the movers and shakers of the movement. That's where it was all popping off. That's where all the events were, you know, curl fairs and all of that. You know, that's where all the really successful and popular natural hair care brands were. Back then was a different landscape, but You know what I mean? And I just felt like if I was really gonna bet on myself and give myself a proper chance and really try to make it, as I said, I'll go into detail later, but let me just give you the bullet point version. That's what happened. I tried to move to New York. Emphasis on the tried. I didn't actually make it. So yeah, as I said previously, I did try have a comeback in 2019. It just wasn't the right time, but I really was trying, and I even released an ebook. I did that. That ebook definitely did flop. I have revamped it, created a 2.0. I'll leave the link in the description if you cared to see it. I really tried. And then obviously, aside from natural hair business and stuff, I got married, I moved out my parents' house, I started a YouTube channel with my husband, whole new business, whole different thing. It wasn't a couples channel or anything like that. You know, we was talking about personal branding mainly. And that was a time I didn't want to be back on YouTube by myself, and I just felt like maybe I should just be on YouTube with him. Then we canned that, abandoned that. I went into copywriting, which is my main bag before I had my babies, before I entered my motherhood era. I had my daughter first, and then a year later I had my son. As I said, a lot has happened. So yeah, definitely watch my next video to find out where I've been for all these years, what I've been up to. I'll fill in the blanks of all the things that I just reeled off to you, because there's a lot has been going on, but this video will be way too long if I keep going. So thank you so much for watching. Oh, it's been a minute and I love that I'm back. I love you so much. I really do. I hope you can feel the love, and I will talk to you soon. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's so amazing. See you later. Bye bye.